Proof. That's what we have here going on today in this old live stream. There you go, right there. Tracks that prove it. Wet, shiny surface that proves it. You got herbage, more tracks, identifiable tracks. If you know anything about forensics, then you know that those tracks are very identifiable despite the rain. So what is it exactly that we're talking about in this never before seen video exclusive proof? Never before seen proof. Video exclusive. Well, I'll tell you exactly what it is. So that's what we're going to be taking a look at. And if you are partial to seeing the facts as they are, then you will watch the rest of this video so you can see it for yourself and judge impartially, or partially if you prefer. Right, and that's another way not to do an intro, by the way. If you're looking for baited clicks, you should probably use other methodologies than what I use, because to be honest, the best system, the best formula for baited clicks, and also if you want to remember that we went over this in recent streams covering the best methods for baited clicks, or clickbaits as they know them, and why they are only applicable to certain kinds of content, although that content is obviously increasingly popular, and it is a diverse enough field that people do gamify it and use it across a range of topics. Right? But there are still many topics in which it is not useful to baitify your clicks because of the nature of the people that are watching it, right? The way that what they're thinking about, what they're looking for, kind of content that they seek. Too easy. So don't attempt to baitify your clicks on a regular basis unless you are specifically making content for that purpose, keeping in mind all of the limitations it brings with it, including short-term gains that do not necessarily translate into increased transactions, let alone customer acquisition, let alone customer retention. Right, baited clicks are really best for shock value videos, and they're best for driving quick traffic to a channel or a video for all kinds of strategic or tactical purposes that generally do not fit most long-term strategic plans. They're usually fly-by-night attempts at quick, uneven, and not particularly good growth, bringing in a lot of chaff with the wheat. And what you want to do is actually nip that in the bud and separate the chaff from the wheat, or the wheat from the chaff, as quickly as you can, so that the only traffic you actually bother to bring in is wheat. Now, I get that people want to have, whatever it is, 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 watch hours in order to monetize their YouTube channels, and they want to have, if they're doing YouTube shorts, whatever it is, like 1 million or 10 million subscribers, whatever the crazy numbers are that you have to have on YouTube shorts in order to monetize there. It's much higher watch time, it's much higher subscriber rate. I get that. So people use these clickbait tactics in order to establish their channels in some way and monetize them for long form and shorts. right? However, when you look at the actual, like, for example, if you look at the money earned per video on average for your typical YouTuber, who do you think is making more money? A YouTuber that's making solid content with maybe a link in their description to some product or service, and maybe has, I don't know, a few, about 1,000 or 10,000 at most subs, or 20,000 or 100,000, not more, or a long form, a YouTube video shorts maker who has like 500,000 subs, even 10 million subs, and is just running YouTube ads. Now, as great as it is to live on YouTube ads, and many people do, that number of many people do is really small compared to the overall number of people who call themselves YouTubers. Right? You're not really a YouTuber in a income sense unless you're actually living off of your YouTube, right? Or if that's your main source of income, or one of your main, like if it's one of multiple sources of income, and if you took away all the other sources of income, you could still live on your YouTube income. Right? That's when you're actually a quote-unquote YouTuber in that sense. You can still be a YouTuber just by making videos and posting on YouTube and not making a dime ever. You're still a YouTuber in that sense, right? But if you want to call yourself a professional YouTuber, as in you make your living off of YouTube, then it needs to be income that you could literally live off of, even if you made no other money from anything else. Right? It's kind of the definition of any kind of job. Right? You need to be able to live off of that income. If not, then you're a person that wears multiple hats, and there's nothing wrong with that. Many people, if not most people, wear multiple hats at some point in their life, meaning they do more than one job. And that is par for the course. It is totally normal in this day and age, because people don't usually have a choice, right? They're usually not in a position to just say, oh, okay, I'm only going to do this. Okay? Unless they happen to have some kind of a regular job, be it a labor job or an office job or a whatever job, professional job, doesn't matter, right? The overwhelming majority of people at some point in their life, before they attain that status, will have one or more additional gigs that they do on top of their main gig at some point in their life, meaning they'll have 2 or more jobs that they do at some point in their life, sometimes at the same time, usually at the same time, right? That's what it means to have 2 jobs for most people. Some people it isn't, but for most people it is. So why do I mention all this? Because there's a ton of videos that share this kind of information, but in a garbage way. They will never tell you the actual truth and the astronomically low probabilities of chances that you have at attaining your dreams of being a superstar in a field like creative content, right? Like YouTube or whatever. Just like they'll never tell you your chances of being a professional athlete are, astronomically low. Your chances of being a professionally syndicated cartoonist are less than becoming an elected United States senator, right? Like if you want to be a syndicated cartoonist in the United States through whatever newspapers and newspaper networks are left in print and online, right? Your chances of doing that are harder and less probable than you becoming a U.S. senator. And there's only 100 senators in America, so think about that. So, yeah, my point is that you have to be aware of the real statistics and work them to your favor. Do what works for you, and don't fall for the pipe dream vacuous fumes of hopium sold to you by pitchmen and other ne'er-do-wells who do not have your best interest at heart. That said, happy marketing.